Welcome back to Retro Recall, the show with more nostalgia than you can fit in Conan's loincloth.
Is that a good thing?
I don't know.
Today we're going into Golden Axe 2.
So why choose this game? Why this one?
Because nothing to me says retro gaming like a bunch of people in Speedos and bikinis wearing boots. That includes enemies and the main characters. Everyone's dressed like this, except for the skeletons, which was actually a little bit of a disappointment because I felt at a certain point you might as well just put everyone in a banana hammock. But seriously, this game was an epic hack and slash game. Each level is a little bit more challenging than the one before, with no way to level yourself up, and 3 buttons, because we actually do, now we're on Sega Genesis. So we go all the way up to 3 buttons.
50% more buttons. More. Yeah.
Yes.
Look at that.
This is awesome.
Huge update with technology. We added a 3rd button.
This actually, by the way, for those of you who are maybe too young to this era, it was a big deal when a new system came out. You saw the controller for the first time, and you had that moment of like, oh, wow, there's 6 buttons. Mostly because, and we'll cover some future episodes, a lot of those buttons you can actually use.
That's true. Okay, so back to Golden Axe 2. So this is like the game that Conan fans finally got because they were into like half naked sweaty dudes and hot ladies and magic and Gimli the dwarf or something like what?
Yeah, I have a hunch that pitch meeting was interesting.
Okay, I got it. This game idea is going to make us rich.
All right, hit me with it.
You know how our highest grossing market is post-adolescent males, like through their early 20s?
Yeah, it's the best market. And?
Well, this game is going to have swords and axes and magic.
I'm listening, but I feel it needs something more.
Okay, well, how about this? I wasn't done. How about this? A giant, jacked Amazonian woman in a bikini and like a Conan dude in like a Speedo-y loincloth thing and a super jacked, toned dwarf with an oddly revealing tunic?
Yes. Violence and nudity?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. All right. What else, though? Give me the hook.
Skeletons and like minotaurs and lizard men, maybe something like that.
You hadn't thought of anything beyond scantily clad heroes hitting with swords, huh?
No, not really.
Good enough. Have the dev team throw in like 3 to 5 enemies on repeat and get it out the door. But that cover art had better be epic, and I mean epic.
All right, so remember the bikini-clad woman? She's riding a dragon.
Perfect. You know what? I'm promoting you to creative director, starting now.
Yes! Before we begin, give us some facts about the game.
Released January of 1992, this is a follow-up of a wildly successful Golden Axe arcade game. To be fair, they didn't throw a ton of effort into it. They actually just ported over all the graphics and the gameplay mechanics from the Golden Axe arcade game. But that was doable now because last time we were talking about NES, this is now Sega Genesis. So it had state-of-the-art 16-bit graphics.
That's right. They do what Nintendo don't.
Yeah. Ooh.
Do you remember that? You remember those ads?
Ooh, I do. Oh, God. Actually, I didn't until that moment. And oh, man, I forgot about that.
Nostalgia.
Yeah.
I told you we had so much nostalgia.
Good old the console wars began early. Sega did lose them pretty badly at a certain point, but they began early. This game, I mean, I actually do remember the first time I played a Sega Genesis, seeing that incredible graphic increase. And it is, I mean, you're talking about 100% increase. So it was a lot better. Now, the game itself, it's a side-scrolling adventure where you jump, you hit, you jump, hit, but you have a 3rd button to release a magical spell. Unique to the game was you had 2 modes. One was duel and one was normal. Duel was just you went into an arena and you fought 15 increasingly more difficult enemies.
I remember trying this, but not really. And this wasn't the main reason you played the game.
Yeah, no, it wasn't there. In normal, though, you go on an adventure to slay the evil Dark Gould. That's his name. It's 7. It's 7 stages. Each has a final boss. Just like all games, the early bosses become standard enemies in later levels. There wasn't a massive diversity of enemies in the game, but that's not important. What's important are why you're playing the game, because you want to go with 3 characters. The first is a human barbarian named Axe Battler. They kind of phoned that one in.
Yeah, wait, he has a sword, though. He doesn't have an The dwarf has
Yeah,
the
they're
axe.
right. It is weird. The next one is a dwarf in green. And by green, I mean a tunic with a belt on it and nothing underneath. So kind of like Scottish Highland games, but the tunic's more Britney Spears mini skirt length. If I'm being honest, if this game was more realistic, we would have seen some things that wouldn't have made the game very sellable. And his name is Gillis Thunderhead. His power is thunder. And then
hey man.
yeah.
Okay. We're gonna keep it clean. We're keeping it clean.
We're gonna power through Gillis Thunderhead pretty quickly and get our way into the female character who's an Amazon warrior named Tyrus Flare. That's what we had. So we have a human barbarian with a terrible name, a dwarf who's not, by the way, that dwarven. I should also point out he's basically the same height, almost the same height as the other two.
He's
and
like slightly short. Yeah, slightly short.
Yeah,
with the big helmet thing.
In the cover, it's funny though. He's also oddly jacked for a dwarf. Like usually when we think of dwarfs, they're kind of like stout, they're thick, all those things. This guy's shredded. Like this one does CrossFit, is what I'm getting at.
Man, that joke would have landed like 15 years ago, even better than right now.
I'm talking about a game that predates CrossFit with a CrossFit joke.
So we already have a bunch of nostalgia going, but let's up it a little bit more. Help us place where you were in our youth. Like where were we way back then when this was going on? What was going on in the world?
So January 1992, #1 song in America, Black or White by Michael Jackson. I'm going to go with no comment.
So can I chime in on this one real quick? Because I remember this. I was a teenager. I was like 13 at the time. And I got a copy of this for like Christmas or something because it was popular and I started getting into music, but I didn't really know what I liked. And then I totally didn't listen to anything else on that album. And then I very quickly learned that the guitar riff was the coolest part. And then I got into like alternative rock and grunge and then finally figured out like, oh no, this is actually better. That's how that worked in my life.
Now, the one I like about this is January 1992. The #1 movie in the theater is a movie called The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. And if you've never seen that, good for you, because it wasn't very good. But what blew my mind was it did $88 million in the box office. And
in 1992 money.
Yeah. And I had to go look it up. I was like, well, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the movie was good. So I went to Rotten Tomatoes. No, it turns out I'm right. Movie's not very good. Now, I will say January 1992 has a bit more of a historical significance because this is when USSR became Russia. The Soviet Union, former Soviet, broke apart in the fall of 1991. By January of 1992, all the separate states had emerged. Mildly, probably more important than the movie The Hand That Rocks the Cradle.
Probably. All right. Well, let's talk about the good, the bad, and the hilarious. And like usual, we're going to start with the hilarious. But before I get into my list, we need to talk about the box art.
Yes, we have to discuss this because as we've said in prior casts, this is an era where there's no internet, really. I mean, I guess it did technically exist in 1992, but I wasn't aware of it.
Nobody really had it yet.
Exactly.
Yeah. You had to be like at a university or somewhere to really have it. Yeah.
Exactly. And so you've got that. So you're buying things based off of word of mouth, but the big one was box art. And I'm going to give Golden Axe 2 credit. This is some epic level box art.
Yes. And I think that this ties directly into why this game was so popular. I mean, it's got that Conan inspired thing going on, and not just Conan because like the movies were popular in the 80s, but like Conan artwork, like the classic artwork, muscly dudes, extra flesh everywhere, monsters, all of that.
We've got a guy in the water wearing a necklace and I guess it's beyond a banana hammock. He's got a little bit of tunic hanging in front of it with a belt, with, of course, long flowing hair. Then we've got the dwarf holding an axe, who is, again, oddly jacked, wearing next to nothing, but he does have a helmet. And then the part that's a little bit disappointing, the woman on the dragon. There's no dragon in the game.
Okay, so let me be the Will actually guy. There's little dragons.
Yeah, that's not, no. Okay, if you give me a box art with a giant dragon that a woman is riding on, and then you give me this garbage in the game, that was unacceptable. I would challenge everyone to look at the box art in depth Is it just me, or are all the weapons oddly too small?
Those are the weapons we can see.
Oh, fair enough. I'm going to go with Axe Battler. He's got this. He's bigger than his sword. It looks like he's holding a dagger. I mean, as a D&D person, he's wielding a short sword. He's a barbarian. You don't wield a short sword as a barbarian. That's just it defeats all your strength score.
Well, let's get into some other stuff because I've got some other hilarious things I think.
Yeah, Tom, why don't you tell us what you thought was hilarious about the game?
Everybody's got twins everywhere because it was a limitation of the technology, right? Like you have the same little dude and the same little dude shows up again and then he shows up again somewhere else. Or do they just keep coming back even though you kick their butts and they just change their clothes? I don't know. But then like they go through all these different colors, which is cool because the Genesis had a lot of colors. It was very colorful, but then you would end up with like hot pink at some point. Like if you play through the easiest version of the game and you get to the end, it's like all the enemies at the end are wearing hot pink, including the knight. But I guess, it was 1992, so. Okay, Wolverines. We got pink Wolverine. There you go. Hit your friend.
Yeah. Every enemy just changes color. And it's like, oh, this one must be harder to kill.
I guess, yeah. Or they're just later in the thing. But here, let's talk about other things. Some of them wear armor, but like the actual marching armor suit thing without the head. But your characters, nah, who needs armor? Because it's even more badass if you show your muscles, right? And they're like, oh, I don't need armor. I kick everybody's butt. Like Fabio dude, Conan or whatever his name was, the guy. He's like rocking long hair. Axe Battler. Names do not stay in my head.
They put a lot of effort into the naming mechanics, Tom. You should respect them.
Axe Battler, who doesn't have an axe, has like long hair and massive pecs. He's ready for his like romance novel photo shoot. And then you've got Red Sonja, who's it's Red Sonja. Let's be honest.
Iris Flare. Flare.
And she's got more magic. And she still kicks ass, but like the magic, even when she's like totally topped out, still doesn't even do very much. And then of course we've got Gimli, and he's mostly, an axe, because like when you swing, his axe is like not the size it is on the cover art. It's actually really big.
Yeah.
And I guess that's fine. It's, it's all a little weird.
It definitely feels like they didn't fully write it.
Almost like different people designed different parts and then they just kind of pieced it all together.
I can see that.
This is what we got. Also, there's the whole nighttime thing where you fall asleep and then animals come in your camp and then they turn into like little gnomes. More horned frogs. Horny frogs. Oh, there we go. Yeah, give me magics. And then they run around and you kick their butts. They drop some stuff and then they run away. And then the next night comes and they do it again. And they don't steal anything from you. Why are they even showing up in your camp? They don't learn.
Oh, that part there, I think of Street Fighter 2. I think this is the inspiration.
Where you break
Fighter
the car?
Where you beat up the Honda Civic. Yeah.
Right?
Well, I guess it was Mercedes. So it was a Mercedes with a Honda Civic. Whatever the car was, you had to beat the car up.
All right. So yeah, that stuff is weird to me. What do you think? What else is hilarious to you?
I think the hilarious to me, I'm going to double down on the outfits again. You brought them up, but I can't get over this. It is the movie Heavy Metal, but about a decade plus later. The part I like, though, is that their outfits were designed to really not restrict any movement except for their legs. Because if you're going on a kicking ass and chewing bubblegum adventure with no bubblegum, you definitely want to have knee-high boots on so you don't get your legs muddy. Maybe I'm weird. I like when they do that stuff. Like, why are they have knee-high boots?
Yeah. This is a callback to our Mega Man 2 episode. The same kind of thing. Spandex. But now they just don't even have clothes.
I also, the magic powers look terrible. They're not very well animated. But they are kind of cool. I mean, when I can get the flaming dragon to blow fire over everybody, but somehow it doesn't affect me. That was cool. There's a couple of them where you're like, okay, I do like these spells, but they were hilarious because to me, it felt like someone said, oh, there's a third button? Yeah. Magic spell.
Magic spell. And then the actual devs were like, holy crap, we have to use all the sprite memory room at all. And everything blinks and gets all like, let's have a massive magic spell, but it barely works on our system. We're going to blow them up real good. Yeah, lots of rocks sideways. All right, we're going to get you both too. Even more rocks. I guess it makes sense that the dwarf has rock magic because he's a dwarf.
Actually, funny story. It actually did crash my system when we
Did
were
it?
recording. I had, yeah. I had to restart because I was casting a spell and the game just froze on me. Oh, we may have errored out, guys. 20 minutes in. 20 minutes in, we lost it. So we're going to have to restart.
Yeah.
Which I was honestly more impressed by than anything else.
I'm pretty sure on my friend's PC, whenever we would cast spells, it would like drop to 3 frames per second and it would go like,
that sounds about right.
And then the spell would disappear and be like, I guess we did a thing because people fell over.
Another one too, I do want to point out is that this whole motif of like extremely tight clothes, like banana hammocks and tunic stuff, was not just restricted to the heroes. I laughed quite hard at the Minotaur boss when it came out, where it was a Minotaur in a black Speedo with spiky anklets and wrists and a giant mace. And I just saw that. Oh, and abs. Just abs. Yes. There is no reason for that outfit other than glory. It was such a fun throwback to that like late 80s, early 90s. You couldn't be a hero unless you were a giant, jacked human being.
Yeah, but John, if you were a giant Minotaur, what would you wear?
I guess it's a fair point. I don't really know. I mean,
you kind of have a, you got a standard to meet. You got to look intimidating and like heavy metal.
It is. There's these elements where I know. I guess it's that piece of, you covered it pretty well earlier. The only person wearing armor was the headless suit of armor. Right. It just feels like if you're going to go out there and fight someone holding a sword, less skin exposure is probably better.
Maybe. I've got a new headcanon now. All of the armor is enchanted by evil magic, and so nobody can wear armor anymore.
Oh yeah, I am a D&D person. Maybe everyone's got bracers AC too, and so I guess you're technically good. All jokes aside, Tom, let's talk about what you actually liked about the game. So what was, aside from the funny, what did you really enjoy?
Well, I mean, it's not a perfect game. We'll just be upfront with that. But I think the game really carries most of its charm in the setting. Like this, it's got this grim, dark fantasy thing. You have these monsters and these magic. And for as much fun as we're making, of the Conan and Red Sonja and dwarves and things like that, there's something cool about, badass muscle-bound heroes kicking butt.
Oh yeah,
it's still cool. It doesn't make any sense, but it's cool. Also, the ability to choose different characters, kind of like if you go back to Double Dragon 2, if you play either Billy or Jimmy, you're the same. You're just a different color palette, right? But then you get something like Ninja Turtles, and it's like, oh, they've got different weapons and different abilities. This is kind of that pathway. Oh yeah, she's got all the magic. He's better at hacking things up, and he's kind of the middle guy. The fact that they are distinctly different and you could pick a different character, because maybe you want more magic ability, or maybe you want your weapon to swing slightly different and you feel like the hitbox is going to be different because of that. Or maybe you just like the fun roleplay aesthetic of being a dwarf. I don't know. Also, the jump to Genesis was significant from a technological standpoint because the sprites are just bigger. Like if you played, I was a Nintendo kid. I had an NES. I had a Super NES. But the distinct difference between the way the characters looked on those consoles and the way they looked on a Genesis was that the Genesis had bigger sprites. The characters were bigger. The bad guys are bigger. Everything felt, especially on the original NES, everything felt within a certain size spectrum of the same. And it's because they had to design them within so many blocks. But that kind of disappeared once you got to this higher level of technology. And by then, I was older also, like we mentioned in 92, I would have turned 13, and something that felt a little bit more edgy and less little kitty was very appealing, being a young teenager who's going, Kirby looks like a funny little pink ball, but these guys are kicking monster butt and, blowing fire on things or whatever.
I mean, I think what I liked about it was fairly easy to master. It's more dynamic than Mega Man, but you take away all the environmental challenges. There's no falling. There's no disappearing blocks, none of that stuff.
Yeah, you could knock things off of the side of a thing, or you could get knocked off a thing, but that was about it. Holding on to my magic. Come off the side. Come off the side. Come off the side. Come off the side. You fall off the side too. Oh, I just jumped off the side myself.
My love of the game may sound like a dislike, but it's actually a like. I thought it was easy. And the truth is, I'm going back to an era where you rented games. So you had them for a few days. You had school. I mean, now I have life, but back then I had school. That was also pushing on. That was pushing on you. You know, how much time do you really have? So giving me a game I could kind of hack and slash my way through, return to the video game store a week later. That was kind of nice. And so the game's very beatable, is what I would say. It's very, very beatable.
Yeah, but there are moments where, I'll get to this in my bad, there are moments where it is highly unfair. Even though it's beatable, there are things that, and I'll discuss that in a minute, but I get your point.
Well, actually, let's go into the bad. I mean, sadly, that's all of my good.
That's all the good. Okay.
That's all of my good. Let's go into your bad.
Okay, so I feel like the gameplay is a little bit lacking. The enemy AI is simple. The abilities that you can do are fairly simple. You swing your weapons, you jump and swing your weapons. There's not really a dodge. You can run and charge at a thing, but even then, if the thing's charging you and it has a bigger weapon, then it wins the charge fight. Like, it doesn't seem that useful a lot of the time. And combat can feel unfair at times, especially with the bosses. I'm just going to shoulder butt them. Oh, maybe not. Their range of motion and swing is way bigger than yours. Did I win? I didn't win. That wasn't... Oh, okay. Oh, so there's not even like a... Now you will face me. He just freaking shows up and then summons skellies. I tested this out too. If you're approaching an enemy head on and they have more range than you don't want to come at them head on and swing your sword because you'll miss. They'll stand far away enough where you can't hit them. So if you go below them, so they have to come at you down the level, or above them, you have a better shot. If you go below them, you can hit them before they swing at you. But if you go above them, they almost win every time. There's something about the hitboxes from that angle, which is actually kind of unfair. So you have to, like, I learned that I have to position myself in certain ways to get the hits in, or I would lose the fight, or at least get knocked back for the first time and had to come back. So little nuances in that I didn't notice as a kid. The AI, although it's not very smart, it's very good at double teaming and just attacking at the same time, which can be a bummer, because if you're playing by yourself, you're going to get double teamed. It definitely is a game that was more balanced to playing multiplayer than single player. These guys have gold. This makes more sense. Were they gold the first time? Freaking chill it out, Wolverine. Just keep juggling them.
Yeah, I also, to that point though, this game was a port over from an arcade game, and that's where I think there was an element of the game that was designed to take you out, so you had to pump quarters in.
Yes, and that's the other thing, is that, like, the bosses have a ton of health, the magic doesn't do that much damage, and because of the cheap hits, there were times where I was churning through lives, and I'm like going, okay, this is an arcade game. If I was at the arcade, I'd be putting another quarter in right now. That's what it felt like. And it doesn't feel like they retuned that for the home systems. It felt like it had the same, and I could be wrong. I'm sure there are people out there who have looked at the code and gone like, okay, well, your health on this one is this much and this one is this much, or whatever. But it still just doesn't feel tuned for a single player at home experience. All right. So what did you think? What doesn't hold up?
I mean, mine one is the biggest one to me is they just didn't even put an effort into the enemies. After playing the game, I had to go look it up because I couldn't believe my memory was this. There are 3 enemies in the entire game. And then there's another 3 bosses that get fed in later. Yeah. You've got, the regular dudes.
That claw guy.
Claws and clubs. You have the wizards that steal from you at night and occasionally will cast a spell at you. And then you have skeletons. That's the entirety of the regular players.
I'll do the well actually guy thing. I think the gnomes are different than the wizards. The gnomes that show up at night, I'm calling them gnomes. They transform from like the frogs into like little guys.
Yeah.
Those and the wizards, I think, are different models. We can double check this.
I did.
Are they the same?
It's the same character. I had to look it up. Yeah. It's like there's always a wikia. And there's 3 guys. And then there's 3 bosses. You have the Minotaur, Lizard Man, and giant suit of armor with no head.
Right. Yes.
That's all you had in the entire game. So they wrote a game where there were 3 heroes and 6 villains.
And
all they do is just
cycling.
Repeating, and they would get the color would change to make them harder. That's it. I mean, that's some serious phone in.
I wonder if the settings and the backgrounds and the special effects took all their budget, like their size budget. And so they were just like, well, we're just going to repeat these things over and over again.
Yeah. Roll them back through. This one's purple. All right, deal with the purple one. I also would say the plot was, and again, this is so actually, I want to spend a little time with this. So the plot is not very good, or at least not very clear what's going on. And I have these moments sometimes where I'm like, well, it's Sega Genesis era, but this game's post Zelda, which in post Final Fantasy. I mean, there are quite a few games of this era that did have good plots. This one just didn't.
Yeah, the bad guys are doing bad things. These heroes rise to stop them. They go on a journey.
Although I will say the end of the game is epic, having the crowd to celebrate you back in the village we were in the beginning. It was kind of one of those moments where like, oh, okay, you guys really did phone this in. The other one too is the biggest one is, well, all right. I've already complained there's no dragon, but I'll bring it up again. There's no dragon. Fine. They made the no dragon thing worse because first off, I have no dragon. And then you're like, well, no, you do have a dragon, John. Here's a dragon. And the dragon turns on and kicks people. And if someone hits it, it lies down. That's not a dragon. Sorry. That's just not a dragon. I was very disappointed in the dragon, as you can tell.
You seem heartbroken about this dragon thing.
I am.
Yeah.
Now, let's get, though, to the meat and potatoes of this. 2 questions, Tom. First off, did it hold up? Was the game still as fun as you remembered? And second, did it bring you back to the days of 1992? So I guess 13-year-old Tom. Tom is entering adolescence. He's got this game.
I'm over at my buddy's house playing on his PC is really where I played this the most. That brings back memories, and there's the aesthetic. Like I said before, the aesthetic holds up. It's got this cool, badass fantasy kind of grimdark thing going on. And that was really cool for the time, but it's super limited. Playing it again today is like, I played through it. Do I want to play through it again? No, I kind of saw everything. There's nothing else to see. I don't really need to refine my abilities. I'm good. So in that sense, it's fun. I think anything that you have any nostalgia for, anything you played as a kid is going to get the thumbs up for the nostalgia side. But does it still hold up and will I play it more? No, I don't think I will. I'm
going to have to agree with you. I thought that it was fun to play it again. It was fun to revisit it. But about halfway through, I was like, this is it? This game kind of sucks. Whereas when we talk about Mega Man, I went through and played other Mega Men as a result of it. Playing Double Dragon made me think of some other ones. There's games that we play where I go, oh, this actually, I got 30 minutes. Let me go dive into this other game for a minute, just for the nostalgia. Mm-hmm. I'm good. I'm good on Golden Axe.
I'm good. Yeah. I'm good too. All right. So now that we've settled that, where are we going next week?
All right. Next week, we're jumping into Super Nintendo with another true iconic classic called Earthworm Jim, which I actually, for some reason, still have the original Nintendo Power for it.
Wow, that's great. Okay, so you seem very excited about this one, but I'm not so sure.
I'm going to give everyone a heads up. So Earthworm Jim is from an era of when video game guys just tried to make weird stuff and it was eclectic. I really have a soft spot in my heart for this game. This one, unlike some other games, I can remember playing and I remember laughing. So that's why I'm very excited about it.
Can't wait. So make sure you like and subscribe and come back for that one. You can comment, let us know about your memories of playing Golden Axe 2. Do you have different opinions? Do you still go back and play it? Do you like it more than we do? And join our Discord. Tell us if you think this game actually holds up or not. Tell us your stories. That's why we're here. Tell us your stories. Yes. And also check out all the other shows that we do. John does the 40K Lorecast and the history of 40K. I do the Fallout Lorecast, the Elder Scrolls Lorecast, and the Lord of the Rings Lorecast. And there's links for everything in the show notes. But we're not done yet because
we are not.
Like every week, we had a challenge. So, John, how'd the challenge go?
Well, we had a simple challenge. How long can you avoid getting hit by a guy running and charging at you?
Maybe I didn't remember this correctly, but I tried to get hit. I thought we were trying to get hit.
That's what makes this challenge more annoying for me, because I sent you my notes saying, yeah, the guy got me. And you said, yeah, it took me 30 seconds to get hit. And I lasted 12. Oh, come on. So, yeah. we were playing by different rules that favored me. And I lost the challenge.
Looks like I get to pick out the game this week. So how was Wally Bear, John?
I'm never losing one of those challenges again, Tom.
That's what I said last time. Yeah, that was, yes.
So what I didn't understand about Wally Bear and the No Gang is that this actually was a game that was created with the assistance of the American Medical Association and the National Clearinghouse for Alcohol and Drug Information. This is the dare from our youth.
Remember, winners don't do drugs.
Oh, man.
The entire purpose of the game is you are a skateboarding bear on a mission to save your friends from the evil temptation of the evil rat gang pushing drugs on them.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to be candid. Now, I'm going to take you through my arc of emotion in this game. Started off terrible. This is legitimately a hard game. Game mechanics are bad. Every part of it's bad. But then you get solid late 80s dare dialogue. And so you kind of get back into it. You're like, all right, this actually is funny.
Solid late 80s dare. The kind of dialogue that led more children to do drugs than to avoid them because now they knew that was a possibility.
Yes. All your classic lines of, you don't need to fit in, just be yourself. You know, if someone wants you to do something that you don't want to do to be cool, that's not cool at all. All of those were in there. Ricky Rat was trying to get Toby the Turtle to join his gang. Oh, we have to take some pills.
Yeah.
And so they bring you up. You're like, okay, this game sucks. Then you get that. Like, okay, I do like this. And then you go back to, no, this game sucks. And this game is not, it just sucked. I was wrong. I hate this game. Neither. Thank God. I'm out. This sucked. I'm going to get you for this, Tom.
No joy. All right.
No joy. Yeah.
All right. So is Wally Bear?
Wally Bear and the No Gang.
Right. Are you the No Gang? Are you the Wally?
I think I'm in the No Gang. I think I'm Wally Bear and me and my cool friends. Because that's right. You do open with your mom telling you to go invite all your friends to your drug and alcohol free party.
Nice. Mom, can I have a party? Oh, only if it's drug and alcohol free.
Also, for whatever reason, I can't figure out what's on the wallpaper of the house that you're in. It appears to be tomatoes. It appears to be a wallpaper of tomatoes. It could be apples. Either way, still not a good decision. Are those tomatoes? Is their entire wallpaper tomatoes?
Well, it sounds like you had a great time.
I did not.
Cool. All right. Well, we need to wrap up the show. Let's wrap this up. What did you learn this week from Golden Axe 2?
That no matter what range of motion you think you need, you always want to make sure you have foot protection.
And with that, we'll see you next time.
Recall.